welcome to the long-awaited Shelfless book tour. We shall be around the room, and hopefully I can briefly sum up everything that's around here and tell you my opinions on it, and we'll have a good wrap-up video. Let's begin. I decided to start right here at the first shelf that kind of borders everything else around the room, and talk about what's on this shelf, which is some of my favorite authors and their series. And as you can see, 2 of these books on this shelf are presently being read, so they'll be missing from what you see, but don't worry, because they are not gone. They are just being used presently. And we shall start at the end here with Tony Ditcherlizzy, who wrote Kenny and the Dragon, and those 2 books right there, and the Spiderwick Chronicles with Holly Black. The illustrations in this series are really, really good, and I kind of got hooked on his illustrations as soon as I saw them in this series. Definitely worth a read. And let's see, man, some troubles putting them back here. And then he also done the spin-off books and their illustrations, and Wanla, which is a futuristic story. Not quite the normal science fiction you'd read about, but it is really unique and has his illustrations too. And of course we got Inkheart with the newest book. I have not read this one yet. Really excited to read that one to wrap up all we've learned in the other books, but I was kind of surprised to see how thin this is compared to the last one in the series. It's kind of surprising. And Narnia, we got some really old copies here of Narnia, some faded illustrations inside, but Grimm does have another copy of the Narnia books on his side. We might trade them out soon. Might have some new copies of the Narnia books, and of course, Fablehaven. We have Fablehaven here, and excuse me, the glare is really bad in this thing. Try to get it. Here we go. That's better. Fablehaven, which is pushing off another Narnia book. And of course we have Wingfeather and all those books in the Wingfeather series. My mom's presently reading North of Beaton, so that's why there is a gaping hole right here between Monster in the Hollows and On the Edge of the Dark Sea. And some little decorations I put up at the end here. Books were kind of falling over, so I had to go big on the blockers there. And of course my paper that I want to decorate on the shelf, which is unfortunately peeling off because the tape's not sticking to the wood very well. But there it is in its glory. I think I posted some pictures from it already. So. And some continuing Cornelia Funk down here, and some of her books. Dragon Rider, I really like that series. I have not read these or these yet. I have read this one. Unfortunately, we are missing I think it's the second book in this series of Reckless. So presently, it's sort of unreadable. I don't really like reading books when they have missing titles in them. It's kind of unfortunate when that happens. And last but not least, oh wait, no. Second but not least, we have some little tiny cardboard picture books. I'm sure you've heard of some of these. Give a Mouse a Cookie, Jan Brett the Mitten, and Brown Bear, what do you see? I just put these there because I didn't have room for them anywhere else, even though they aren't my most favorite picture books we have around here. And up here, we have a few more Brendan Mull books, which is the Candy Shop War. This little guy fell off from up here. Hide him back in there. Got a little decoration. And of course we got Wing Feather's cover here. And it's too gorgeous to put away, so I had to put it right here where everybody could see it. Going in this direction, we can continue down this line of shelves of books, which continues with James Sturm and Joe Sutphen's adaptation of Watership Down, and Little Pilgrim's Progress, also by Joe. Another illustrator that I just got attached to his illustrations of, and especially this graphic novel. This graphic novel is probably the best graphic novel adaptation of a normal book I've ever seen, personally. I don't know, I might just be prejudiced because I love his illustrations so much. And this book was also illustrated by him too. Word of Mouse. And the continuation of the Fablehaven series in Dragon Watch, right here. And all those books that make up Dragon Watch. And some more Brendan Mull with Beyonders. And the Five Kingdoms. You can see. I didn't like Beyonders and Five Kingdoms as much as I did Candy Shop War or probably Fablehaven. But I did like Five Kingdoms a bunch better than Beyonders, I think. I don't know. They're all good, but still. And a few books that he done. One book he done, and he started like a big old series with a lot of other authors collabing with him. I don't have all those books, but I do have 2 of them because they were in a cheaper bookstore, and I decided not to pass up that opportunity. And as I aforementioned, I think I've mentioned it before, is The Secret Zoo by Brian Chick. These books are really rare and extremely underrated. I mean, look at these covers. Just look at them. See? They look so good. And of course, another underrated book series, in my opinion, and the movies often overshadow the original books, is How to Train Your Dragon. And I have all the books for that right here, including the up to 12, the most thickest thing on the side of Alaska. And another series that Cressida Caldwell done, and the Wizards of Once. Let's see if I can get them out here. Which is the covers. If you're wondering if those covers look kind of familiar, covers were done by the same guy who done the covers of the Fablehaven books. So that's kind of a neat kind of little trivia there. And there are like 4 books in that series. And back here, it's really hard to see what's back here, but back here we got Keeper of the Lost Cities, or what I've got of them so far. And I don't know if I'm going to continue getting the rest because of that whole thing going on about them, but these are the ones that I do have, and a little bit of a Lego creation I have here is on top of them. You can see for yourself. And over here we have graphic novels and comics beginning, as you can see, going down for a little while. And I put the first my first favorite graphic novels first on this row, and a few picture books also by the graphic novelist Ben Hackey, which are Julia's House series and Nobody Likes a Goblin. This one's kind of hard to get out, but you can see a little bit of it there with the elves and dwarves and wizard guy. And Little Robot and Mighty Jack. Mighty Jack is a good series too. You can see the illustrations are really, really neat. And a single book and his Zeta the Space Girl series. Which crosses over with Mighty Jack in this book, this last book. And also a little bit of a novel from him. Not quite a novel, I guess, but sort of like more of a storytelling book than a picture telling book. And Time Museum. This is a time travel story. The illustrations on this are really goofy. But been waiting on volume 3 for a long time, but there doesn't seem to be any talk of it, so I don't know what happened to volume 3. And Bone. Ever heard of Bone? Bone is like one of the most famous graphic novels out there, and it's a really worthwhile series to read. Has a few spin-offs too, and even some more novels, per se novels, chapter books, based on its story. And Amulet. Amulet is probably my personal favorite graphic novel series. It's just like a fantasy. It's like a fantasy, and all the books are really good in this series. You can see this one just came out in 2023. Here. That one was very long awaited by me and Grim. And some more Kabushi's work right here. And Flight, which is a crazy big anthology of a lot of comic stories that a lot of people done together. Let's see if I can procure an example here. That anthology of Flight is really, really neat and unique. And then we have a few other stories I don't think one would really recognize, but this one is done by the same author of the Ragweed series, and it's a graphic novel as well, illustrated by the illustrator of that series. It's black and white, and some sailing, kind of a sailing themed graphic novel right here. Knife's Edge and Compass South. And another one done by Hope Larson and Rebecca Mock, same authors of the previous sailing books. And some more mathematical, I guess you could call them mathematical graphic novels. These were pretty good, but the equations and stuff they put in there was sort of distracting from the rest of the story going on, in my opinion. And some uh, some school-themed stories, graphic novels. Donna Kellermeyer. Probably heard of some of her nonfiction graphic novels. And pretty classic graphic novels and comics. She's the Smurfs and Purge's Tintin. Everybody's heard of Tintin. I know Throne Warden likes Tintin a lot. And here's some Animorph graphic novels. I have all the Animorph, well, almost all the Animorphs books, and I'm a fan of Animorphs, so I really enjoy reading the graphic novels when they come out, and some of the same illustrators' other work, which are also graphic novels. And Magic Treehouse graphic novels, actually. You can see style in those are really eye-catching. Got pretty far into that series. 6 books already out. And the Action Bible, which is fairly waterlogged when we found it in the bookstore, but it's readable, so it's pretty readable. It's pretty good. So, and The Hobbit graphic novel as well, with a beautiful cover there. It's, in my opinion, the only nitpick I had about this book was that it had way too many words and boxes in it that you need to read. And in my opinion, graphic novels are all about seeing the pictures instead of reading stuff in boxes. So it was kind of my only nitpick about that story. And A Wrinkle in Time graphic novel, in fact, which is a fan favorite, illustrated by Hope Larson, who also worked on The Compass South and Salt Magic over there. And I don't know what's wrong with this book, but it's really sticky. I don't know why it's sticky. I don't know what happened to it, but it's really sticky. I don't know why. And then a few other comics that Grimm and me got into, and as you can see, there need be no explaining of this. And we get into Sunday strips here. Some more Sunday strips, which is Foxtrot. Have you ever heard of that? A lot of Foxtrot books and anthologies. And Garfield. Big Garfield books. Small Garfield books. And my personal favorite comics, which is Calvin and Hobbes. Like, nobody beats Calvin and Hobbes. Look at this. Of course, last but not least, we got another comic series, Red and Rover, which is, I only have one book for this, but it's a pretty cute little series as well. Sunday Comics. And as a little decoration, I put my personal favorite sketch page I've done right here above. I don't know why I put it there, but I felt like it would be blank without it right there. Felt like it needed a little bit of pizzazz and loving care. And I don't know why I separated Peanuts from Calvin and Hobbes, because obviously they sort of belong together, but I did, and here it is over here. Peanuts, the Peanuts books. Some older ones right here. And then we go into some classics. Yes, I said classics. Ooh. And as we can see, I put the yearling right here first. Yearling as it being probably now one of my favorite books. Book classics and cows. And Silas Marner, Great Expectations, and Oliver Twist, and Tale of Two Cities, 3 Dickens, and Anne of Green Gables. A few of those stories. I haven't read quite a few of these, unfortunately, but I will sometime soon, hopefully. And Little Women, which I put that there because it sort of belongs with Anne of Green Gable, in my opinion. And Sherlock Holmes, the big books that collect all of his stories, short stories. Ivanhoe, Three Musketeers, Old Man and the Sea, Mark Twain, Alice in Wonderland, an old edition of Alice in Wonderland right here. And Diary of Anne Frank. Some more miscellaneous books. Herman Melville, Black Stallion, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, Poe's collection of stories right here that Grimm gave to me, and a lot of John Steinbeck and Wells, H.G. Wells. You can see, sorry, it's kind of getting blocked right here because I have this other row of books right here. So I'll try to make the best of what I have.